Hello everyone and welcome to Vibe and Estate Gems. I am Lola G and I appreciate you being here. I hope you guys are doing okay today. So be sure and subscribe and like for more videos coming your way regarding estate sales. I am a reseller, and the reason that I resell is to help support my sick son who has progressive MS. It's been a rough time for him, but today we're going to be talking about auction tips and tricks. So I have been going to auctions with my dad and my grandfather since I was 7 years old. And I kind of got the auction bug after that. So if you're a reseller, it's a great opportunity to pick up a grouping or a lot of things. And if you're someone who collects, it's certainly an opportunity for you to get that favorite thing that you collect out there. So if you haven't been to an auction before, an outdoor auction or an indoor auction, I want to encourage you to do that. Now, when I'm talking about auctions, I am not talking about Goodwill auctions or online auctions, and I am also not talking about high-end auctions like Sotheby's or Christie's. Those are whole different animals unto themselves. I'm talking about auctions that you might go to where you go to someone's home and they're having a big auction outside of the home, or it might be an inside of a space where they're auctioning the person's homewares and jewelry and so on. So let's just get right into it. So the first thing you can do, and one of the best resources you can have, is to go to www.AuctionZipcom and enter your zip code and then place whether, how far you're willing to travel. I think it's 25, 50, or 100 miles, depending how far you want to drive. And you just select which auction you want to attend. Then what you want to do is go through the auction tabs and see which one has the certain things that you collect or that you can purchase to resell. And then you want to make a list of all the things. You want to click on that, show more images, or I can't remember, it's up in the left-hand corner. You also want to read everything that you can in the blurb regarding, they write an epistle about what the auction's going to contain. Number one, the time, the date, the place it's going to happen, whether they're going to have snacks or food. They'll give you most of that usually. If not, some auction houses don't. You can always call or look them up on the website also. Make a list again of the things that you want to look at, and then I want to encourage you to go and view those things in person, because with auctions, things are as is, where is, okay? It is not the auctioneer's responsibility they try to convey as much as they can, but they don't always know when they're selling other people's things what the what is. They don't try to confuse and confound you. They really don't know. Things are as is, where is. So it's up to you to view the things. Now, typically most auctions will have a viewing day. So the day before, a couple of days before, or they may do it the day of. If the auction, say, starts at 2 o'clock, the doors will often open at 11, and you can come in a little bit earlier and view the things, turn them over, and you want to vet them thoroughly, because just because something says Tiffany doesn't mean it is. Just because something says it's sterling doesn't mean it is. Just because something says it's a whatever bag, or it's foxtail, or whatever it is you're collecting, it doesn't mean it is, or it's not broken. So, there might be a lamp there that you really like, it's some vintagey thing, and you get there and you don't have any place to plug it in, so you're not going to know if it works or not. So you have to keep that in mind when you're bidding. So once you've made a list of all the things and you've maybe gone to look, the next thing you want to do is set a budget. I debated about whether this should be number one or not, because the budget really defines on what you can purchase and what you can't. Set a budget and stick to it. You'll be glad that you did. But inside that budget, you have to keep in mind several things about the auction. Number one, is there a buyer's premium? Most auctioneers and auction houses have a buyer's premium. They all vary. Some make you pay at a door a certain amount to get in. Most don't do that. Typically, it's a buyer's premium if you buy something, okay? Some will take a percentage of the sale, not just a buyer's premium. So they say a $30 buyer's premium that you pay, but then you have to pay a percentage of what you purchase too. Then there are also swipe fees. Swipe fees are how much the credit card companies charge to the auction house. Therefore, they charge that back to you, because they are not going to incur any cost. It's just how it is. So you always want to work those particular fees and swipe fees and buyer's premiums, all of that into your budget. It doesn't feel really great when you drop $200 in your budget and then you get up to cash out at the window or wherever, and they say, oh, you owe $250 because of buyer's fees and premiums and so on. And then you're like, ruh-roh, not fun, right? So the next thing you want to do is, you've done the preview day, you've got your budget, that's a big deal. You want to be prepared to stay all day, okay? Because your items may not come up right away. You may have a listing, let's say, of 10 things that you want to bid on, and you have no control over when those things come up in auction. So you probably will be there all day. The next thing is wear appropriate clothing. Wear closed-toed shoes. Be prepared, okay? So dress for the weather. If it's cold outside, wear a coat, wear gloves. If it's an outdoor venue, you're definitely going to want to invest in that. The other things that I keep in my car are portable chairs. We take water with us, although most venues will serve sodas and waters and snacks often, or even food. It may not be something that's palatable to you, so you definitely might want to take a small light meal and, or picnic, whatever it is, and have drinks with you. Bug spray and sunblock. If you're standing in 90-degree heat and you don't have bug spray and you don't have sunblock or an umbrella, you're going to be unhappy. An umbrella is always a great thing to have, not only just because the weather can change and it may rain, but it also keeps the sun off of you, even if you're wearing sunblock. So just keep that in mind. Don't do what I did and wear linen pants when it's pouring rain, traipsing through someone's yard full of mud, and get the orange North Carolina dirt all over your linen pants that then you cannot get out. They are stained forever. Yes, that happened to me. True story. I didn't get the memo. I thought my husband and I were going to an indoor auction that day. We were going to an outdoor one, and it was too late to change. And I don't know what I was thinking because I'm a jeans girl. So, go figure. The one day I decided to wear linen pants, I ruined them. Bring some other things to bring are hand sanitizer, paper towels, wipes, and of course your mask if that's something that you're still wanting to do or they're requiring you to do based on your state. Bring boxes for hard goods or bulky items, and bring your own packing materials. Listen, it is no fun when you go bid on a bunch of depression glass or Pyrex or whatever it is you're bidding on, and then you have no boxes and no packing material, and you're trying to carry it piece by piece to put it in your car. I guarantee something's going to be broken, okay? So you have to bring boxes and packing material, because so you might buy something that's not on your list. I'm telling you, you will. Hopefully you'll stick to it, but I don't know. Be prepared to haul bulky items like furniture or tables, whatever it is, or equipment. They are not going to haul it for you. So you'll have to get a buddy's truck, have your own truck, your uncle's truck, whatever it is. You're going to have to haul it and lift it. Most of the time, most auction houses will not have anyone there to help you lift or tote anything out of the venue. You're going to have to get it. Most auctions want you to get it at the end of the auction or by the next day. Those are things you have to find out when you've bid on the thing, like, do I need to pick this up today or can I get it tomorrow? But my verbiage to you, my feedback for you is don't ever leave anything at the auction that day if you've purchased it, because it has a funny way of getting up and walking away. It's not always because people are trying to be shady and sticky-fingered and nefarious. Sometimes they actually think they bid on it. That happened to me the last auction that we went to. My husband and I bid on some chairs. A guy thought he bought the entire suite of furniture. He did not. I went in and was standing there when my husband went and got the truck. The guy came in and started moving stuff, and he's like, why I have to move that? And I'm like, move what? This is my chair. And he's like, oh, that's cute. And I went, no, my husband and I bought these chairs. We just paid for them. He just went to get the truck. And then he got upset and no, and you and this. And I said, I'm not going to argue with you. Go right on out there and find out what your tickets were. And I guarantee this particular lot number is not yours. And sure enough, he came down, oh, I'm sorry. And he apologized and got his stuff and left, because he just knew he'd purchased the whole thing, but he didn't. It happens. So the other thing you need to understand is if you're a big Goodwill person and you're buying all kinds of lots on Goodwill, lot to us means a grouping of things, right? And it does. But in auction speak, when you're at a live auction, lot means the item number. So item number or lot number 122 or 35 or whatever. It doesn't mean, you might be bidding on one thing. You might be bidding on 7 things. It varies. The term lot has to do with the thing itself, not a grouping of things, but it can also mean that as well. On auction day, write down your budget and the items on a notepad. They'll give you a little card. Go up to the window and get your number. The number might be, let's just say it's 122. And every time you bid, that's what you'll hold up to bid. And sometimes you have to wave it around. You can't be a shy violet when you're at an auction, because people will, you know, sometimes the auctioneer doesn't see you. So you can't just kind of like, you know, once they kind of get to know you and you get to go in, you can do this whole thing. I like to do this thing with my head. That's what I do. It looks crazy, I know, but you'd be surprised. Some people wink and some people do, you know, with their, that looks terrible. They've got whatever and they're holding it up, and some people do their finger. Some people yell hip and roll their hand up. It just depends. Or they just put their hand up in the air and they keep it up and then they put it down and drop their head, and, you know, that's it. It just depends on the person. Find out if they take, what types of payment they take. So that goes back to swipe fees, but also checks and cash. Some places are a cash only place. You know, if you show up there and you're going to bid on a bunch of things, and then they're like, oh, we don't take check, and we don't do swipes, and we don't have an opportunity to do credit cards. We only take cash. You're going to be like, I don't carry $200 worth of cash, and then you're going to have to go and get it. So keep that in mind. You need to know what forms of payment that the auction house takes before you go. Many don't take checks, though. Most of them don't. Don't get into auction mentality. Oh gosh, the whole my wallet's bigger than your wallet. I did that recently because of an item that I wanted so badly, and it wasn't my wallet was bigger than your wallet. It was I was bidding on the item. I wanted it, and my husband got to a point where he was like, "I'm not bidding on this anymore." And I'm like, but I want it. I needs it. The precious. You know, I was like Golem over there, you know, trying to get him to bid. And he's like, no, stop. And then the lady did something you're not supposed to do, was get an auction mentality, where I think she thought I was bidding her up, but in reality I wasn't. Listen, you can't control what other people do. You can only control you. And yes, people will bid against you, sometimes to be a jerk. They know you really want the item. You got to be a little bit sneaky. Don't go up in there and go, I really want that pair of pearls up there on that thing, and I'm going to bid $1 million. Don't do that. Some auction houses will let their staff bid on things. You can't get salty about that either. Their rules are their rules, okay? House rules, that's how it is. Some auction houses seed the audience with people to bid against you because they know an item is of value, and they're going to bid it up, and that's just how it is. So keep that in mind. Don't get salty, okay? And the other one is, do not get angry at other people because they won something and you didn't, okay? That's how it is. Trust me, whatever item you were bidding on, it'll come back around. I could sit here and name a dozen things where we dropped out and didn't bid and got it for less than the person did. They did not get a deal that day. We waited and got a deal. We got a grandfather clock. It's brand new. We bought it at an auction. We were going to pay $300 for one at an auction. And then I looked at my husband and I said, ain't nobody got time for that. And then that's code for no. And so he quit. Well, then we ended up getting one for a much decreased price than that. It was the same one, and it was newer. It's brand new. The lady didn't have it a year. So, yeah, I mean, you just have to wait. We wanted a Thomas Kincaid portrait, one of the ones that was painted and numbered, not one of the lithographs. And we almost spent quite a bit on one of those, too, and at a couple of auctions. And then we'd both just go, no, we'll wait. And then one day, it wasn't at an auction, but we walked into an estate sale and boom, there it was. And it was great. And we were so ecstatic. One of the biggest things is get your items the moment you win them, okay? And start putting them down in boxes. Most of the auctioneers aren't going to care. Some of them they'll let you know, hey, you can get your stuff at the end of the auction, but they also know that people come and go. Most people, you know, they may pick one thing up. I watched a guy, he came for this old beat up jug one day. That's the only thing he was bidding on. He got his old beat up jug and he walked his happy face out of there, and that's all he was buying. They know people are coming and going, and it may just be that you're buying that grouping of things and then you're going to leave. And so you certainly are entitled to go up and get your things once you've paid for them. That's a big key. You have to pay for things. You want to have good, make sure you've got the money in the bank and everything's good, because they'll resell the stuff. It's not for free, just so you know. Get your things immediately though. They might resell it. If sometimes, hey, things in auctions move really, really quickly. Don't be on your phone looking up stuff, you know, at Facebook and talking to your friend Susie on the phone. You're going to miss out. And you're going to look up and be like, dang it, I lost that chair or that owl or whatever it was, that portrait of my great Aunt Bertha that I wanted. You're going to miss out because it's going to get sold because you were on Facebook, so, or LinkedIn or whatever thing you were, Instagram. So pay attention, or YouTube, you know, and be prepared to bid on the items when they come up. Don't leave your items unattended. So my husband and I, at this particular auction that we go to regularly, it's only happened to me once. I've never had anybody, just the guy almost took my chair. Had I not been there, I would not have had my chair that one particular time. And then this particular time, we had a bunch of things that we had purchased sitting on our chairs. He went out to get packing materials and so forth out of the truck. And I had gone just right behind the chairs and was standing there. And all of a sudden, this person came up and sort of did one of these and walked over to my things and started fiddling around with it. A lot of it was jewelry and other things. And I'm just standing there 2 rows behind looking at them, boring holes into them with these eyes. Like, you know, and finally they did another, and I felt really like they were getting ready to pilfer something. And I said, hey, what you doing? Did you find something good? And then he looked up at me and he said, oh no, I was just looking at, that's really nice. And I said, yes, it is. That's why I bought it. And then I at that point, I was talking and walking toward him, and he put it on. Oh yeah, very nice. And he shuffled on. He couldn't wait to get away. He had been caught. So you want to get your stuff and wrap it up. Most people aren't like that, but things do have a way of sometimes getting sticky fingers. It is not the auction's house responsibility if you don't pay attention and somebody pilfers your things. Another thing that happened. Sometimes when things move really quickly, people lose track because they aren't going to keep notes like you are about how much they've spent and what lot numbers, like 122 or 125 or 75, whatever that they purchased. And they go up and think they've purchased more than what they did. This one particular auction, there were like 5 rows of depression glass. One lady bought a bottom lot. I bought the lot above. And then the man that was trying to take it all purchased the 3 lots above ours. He started loading her stuff up and mine too. And we both went over and said, no, those are ours. And he said, I bought this whole shelf. And we said, no, sir, you did not. And he said, well, I bought this whole grouping. And we said, no, it was by choice and you knew it was. And sometimes there's something called choice. So that's something you really need to be aware of. So let's say I was selling a bunch of these pearls, okay? And I'm going to say something like choice. That doesn't mean I'm going to bring a lot of these pearls out right here of like 10, a grouping of 10, okay? And you see that and think, ooh, as a reseller, I'm going to buy all those. And you run it up to $100, okay? And then you didn't hear the words choice. And then you go up to get them all and you're like, no, you just get one. And then you're like salty. So listen for the word choice. Choice means you get to choose one of the grouping or 2 of the grouping. You need to listen for those things, because if you don't, I watched a lady get very mad at an auction house and then she said, well, I don't want it then because I thought I was bidding on the entire group. And things, again, move really quickly, and they'll say this is choice, and they try to say it consistently, which means you get a choice of the grouping. And if you win the bid, then you get to be the first one to choose, and then they'll bid it again, and they run it until they're all gone. So that's how that works. Do not leave your car unlocked. That's really important. In an auction, it's really easy to go in and out of your car, putting things in, getting your collateral, whatever, to your boxes. Don't leave your automobile unlocked. It's never happened to us, but when the last auction the 2 auctions ago, my mother happened to be sitting in the car on a lovely spring day, and there was a car actually just like ours, though, in this case, sitting literally right next to ours, and a woman opened the front door because it was unlocked because my mom was sitting there. My mom went, oh, what are you doing? And the lady turned around and looked like, what? And she goes, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you scared me. I thought this was my car. And legitimately, she did. I was completely mortified. She goes, I don't know why her windows weren't tinted and mine are. I didn't get the memo, that I didn't figure it out, that, I didn't see the tinted windows. I'm sorry. And she was just, and she was so embarrassed. So that was a different thing. But people will, if they see you have something really nice and you put it in your car, and they will check to see if they can get it. Sometimes that happens. It's just a common practice. Don't leave your car unlocked. Be mindful of your handbag and your wallet. So if you have a handbag, keep it on you at all times. Keep your wallet on you at all times. The reason is don't go laying it up on some desk or whatever and then walk away. There's a lot of people milling in and around. The auction house is not responsible for any of that. Things are as is, where is. Your stuff, your property is your property, just like in a restaurant. If you leave your wallet, you know, hopefully somebody will find it. Hopefully you get it back. It's not always the case, but just be mindful of those things. So just to recap really quickly, you can go to and I'll put it in the description box too, all these best practices. You can go to AuctionZipcom and put in your zip code, and you can have an opportunity to find out what auctions are in your area. You want to look through the auction tabs, look at all the photographs. You want to go to a viewing if you can. You want to set a budget. Budget. I can't say this enough. Don't get auction minded. You will blow your budget. Be prepared, wear appropriate clothing, dress for nature, dress for if it's going to be outdoors or indoors. Wear closed-toed shoes. You never know when something's going to fall on your foot, and you'd rather have a closed-toed shoe on than an open-toed shoe where things are going to smash your feet. Hey, I've seen bowling balls get dropped at things and glassware and everything else. It's just not a happy day when you end up in the emergency room because you wore sandals on that day. Or, you know, you're trying to look fabulous, look fancy. You know, wearing your cute strappy sandals in the mud. Probably don't want to do that like I did. It was so fabulous. Get your auction number, get verified if you need to. Yeah, don't get that whole my wallet's bigger than your wallet thing. You might want to just kind of not do that. That's not a good time. And don't leave your car unlocked. So hopefully, and like I said, I'll be putting all of these in the description box below with all of these good best practices and tips. You can go and have a really great time at the auction and pick up some really great things to resell and have a good time being at an auction for the first time. Maybe you're going to go back again, or you haven't been in a long time and you never thought about these things, and this is an opportunity for you to, or as a collector, for you to actually get out there and have a good time and start a new fun thing to do. All right, so that's me, guys. Thank you so much. Be sure and like and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.